Hello students. So today we are going to discuss a very important reaction, and that reaction is ozonolysis of alkenes. Now, before we start with the reaction, just understand what do you mean by ozonolysis. Firstly, lysis means breaking down, and breaking down with the help of ozone. Therefore, the reaction is called as ozonolysis. So, एक बार चलो जल्दी से देखते हैं reaction actually process कैसे करता है. So over here, let's suppose you are talking about ozonolysis and you have an alkene which is ethene. इसमें you are adding ozone in the presence of CCl4. Now what you would get is you would get an intermediate which is an ozonoid. How do you make this ozonoid? ये ozonoid बनता कैसे? चलो पहले ये देखते हैं. तो सबसे पहले ना आपको देखो एक सिंपल सी चीज इमेजिन करनी है. Just imagine that you don't have the double bond. Whatever is there on the left hand side, you write it as it is. Whatever there is on the right hand side, you write it as it is. Okay. Ozone has 3 oxygens. तो आपने 3 oxygens को एक triangle के form में arrange कर दिया. Now what you will do? Just check. You will just attach the bonds in this manner. ये जो compound आपके पास बना है, this compound is an intermediate compound called as an ozonoid. Now what happens? वैसे तो ये ozonoid stable होता है. But when this ozonoid is reduced or when it is heated with zinc, it gets converted into corresponding aldehydes or ketones or a mixture of both. देखते कैसे होता है ये? Let's see. So when you heat it with a zinc dust or you heat it in zinc and water के presence में, what you will get? देखो, the bond would be broken something like this, जैसे show किया अभी. अच्छा, अगर ये वाला बॉन्ड टूट गया तो देखो आपके पास बचता क्या है. यू आर लेफ्ट विथ CH2 एंड डबल बॉन्ड O ऑन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. सिमिलरली अगर राइट हैंड साइड का बॉन्ड ब्रेक कर लिया तो आपके पास क्या बचेगा? वंस अगेन यू विल बी लेफ्ट विथ CH2 double bond O, which is formaldehyde again. So over here what we said, you have a molecule of ethene which on ozonolysis gives you an ozonoid, जिसको जब आप हीट करते हो in the presence of zinc and water, you will get a corresponding mixture of aldehyde या ketone या both. Okay, what you need to remember over here is जो आपने ऑक्सीजन अरेंज किया ना ट्राइंगल वाले फॉर्म में, ओजोनॉइड में देखो 3 ऑक्सीजन अरेंज्ड इन फॉर्म ऑफ अ ट्राइंगल. So the oxygen which is alone will be left alone at the end also. Therefore, what you would get is the zinc that you are heating will combine with oxygen to give you ZnO as a byproduct. Let's try this reaction one more time. Okay, एक और example लेके देखते हैं. Let's suppose आपके पास ये alkene है which is propene. And what you're doing? You're heating propene in the presence of ozone and CCl4. होगा क्या? Double bond. Imagine करो कि double bond नहीं है. Whatever is there on the left hand side, whatever is there on the right hand side, write it as it is. Oxygen will be arranged in form of a triangle and bonds satisfy kar lo. Now what will happen? If you heat it in the presence of zinc and water, what you will get? The bond between carbon and oxygen will be broken. Oxygen and oxygen will also be broken, giving you CH3, C double bond O, H, which is acetaldehyde. अच्छा, right hand side पे देखो क्या बचा. Right hand side पे you are left with CH2 double bond O, which is formaldehyde. One oxygen is still remaining. That one oxygen will combine with zinc to give you ZnO. So this becomes the final product. अच्छा, एक चीज नोटिस करना है यहाँ पे. Ozonolysis का what is the important utility of this reaction? Then an important utility of this reaction is that this reaction helps you to know the number of double bonds and even the position of the double bond. कैसे? Just look at the molecule of propene. What I can do, एक shortcut के हिसाब से मैं इस molecule को break करूंगा at the double bond and I can just put both the oxygens over there. So अगर मैं यहाँ पे दोनों oxygen डाल देता हूँ तो just check, you would get the same product. Okay, let me just write it down for you. What you will imagine, आप ये imagine करो कि ये bond यहाँ से break हो गया, आपने यहाँ पे एक oxygen डाल दिया and यहाँ पे एक oxygen डाल दिया. So अब check करो, देखो you are still getting the same product, CH3, C double bond O and H plus right hand side पे देखो क्या बचा, C double bond O, H and H. So you're still getting the same product. And therefore what I can say now, इसका utility, इसका practical application क्या है? with ozonolysis, or by the help of ozonolysis reaction, you can actually know that how many double bonds do you have, and you can even know the positions of the double bond. Okay, so this is the practical utility of the reaction, that it helps in the finding out the position as well as the number of double bonds present in an alkene. चलो एक काम करते हैं, एक और एग्जांपल लेके देखते हैं. Now this time around you have a molecule of 2-methyl butene. Once again क्या करना है? Ozonolysis. So upon ozonolysis what you will get? Double bond. Imagine double bond is not there. Okay, so left hand side and right hand side जैसे थे वैसे ही लिख दिए, बस मैंने फर्क ये किया कि पहले जो दोनों CH3 ऊपर और नीचे थे, I've just written it on the other side. So the structure doesn't matter right now. Okay, now next thing what you need to do, तीन ऑक्सीजन्स, अरेंज देम इन फॉर्म ऑफ अ ट्राइंगल. सो तीनों ऑक्सीजन्स को हम लोग ने ट्राइंगल के फॉर्म में अरेंज कर लिया. ओके, एंड फाइनली satisfy the valencies of carbon and oxygen in this manner. अब होगा क्या? Again, the bond between carbon oxygen and oxygen oxygen will be broken in the presence of zinc and water, giving you a compound that is CH3C double bond OH, which is acetaldehyde, which is an aldehyde. And on the right hand side you would get a compound which is CH3 C double bond O CH3. Acha, this would be acetone and it is an example of ketone. Plus एक ऑक्सीजन बचा हुआ था, you will get ZNO as a byproduct. Okay, अब सोचने वाली बात ये है कि अल्डिहाइड कब मिलेगा और कीटोन कब मिलेगा. So if you have a carbon which is connected to two alkyl groups, then only you would get a ketone. So you have a carbon with a double bond and connected to two alkyl groups, only then you are going to get a ketone molecule. Otherwise, आपको हर बार aldehyde molecules मिलेंगे. And along with this, you will always get zinc and oxygen combining to give you ZnO. So this was all about the reaction of ozonolysis. I hope you must have understood the reaction of ozonolysis. You take some examples of the alkenes, just practice the reaction on your note. Once again, I'll repeat, this reaction is a very, very important reaction that you need to master it. Okay, and why this reaction is so important, जैसे हम लोग ने पहले बताया, you could actually assess the number of double bonds, or you can actually assess the position of the double bonds in your alkenes. And for that reason, this reaction becomes a huge important reaction. So with this, we'll stop over here. We'll meet in the next module, students. Till then, thank you and happy learning.